Welcome to the Get Set podcast, an old girl entertainment production. We are delighted to be back and sharing our experiences as three women in the TV and film industry.
Today on the pod, fresh off her world premiere run of CASA FUEGO, we have actor, writer, director, producer, and first and second generation American-Mexican Krystal Anai, Amaya Navarro.
Woo woo!
Hey.
CASA FUEGO is a play about a handmade mansion that shelters a first-generation Latinx family filled with clairvoyance, expectations, and a violent incandescence that's been boiling for centuries. Will a visit from the past, the root of their heightened conditioning, spark more turmoil, or can they extinguish their turbulent ways for good?
Before we get into this incredible episode, we want to share with you all the exciting news happening over on our Patreon. We give updates on current productions, tips on how and why we do certain things in pre- and post-production, and a plethora of terms explained to you that you will hear on set and in the production world. So join us over on Patreon for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment. So our podcast typically focuses mainly on experiences from the TV and film world. However, theater is a great medium to bridge actors who come from theatrical training into the industry and meet people like reps or casting directors, because they can invite people to these shows. So it's also, this is something that, listeners of the pod do as well. And we're so excited to talk to you about this. We'd love to know about, first about you, and then we'll definitely get into Casa Fuego. So tell us about you, Krystal. Where are you from? How'd you get into this?
Okay, yeah. So I grew up in Diamond Bar, California, and it's a city in between Brea and Chino Hills. It's a very quiet city, a lot of SAT programs to join, and a lot of quiet hobbies to join as far as community involvement goes. I was in orchestra for a majority of my education, and it wasn't until high school where I switched into theater. And I fell in love with it, like many of us do. And I had to have more. My first self-written project that I co-wrote with a friend was produced in high school. And then I produced another in college. But then I switched. My major was English, but I missed acting terribly, so I switched and I went to SUNY Purchase Observatory in New York, and I graduated in 2020, and my life went into a whole different direction, into a spiritual journey, a very intense healing journey, and then I wrote a lot of work during it. Now this year, Casa Fuego is the first screenplay that's intended for film, but I wanted to send it out as a play first to workshop it, and to see the response and hear the response, and so it can help me develop it further. Because there's a lot of new ideas and a lot of themes that I'm working with, and I'm introducing a culture too. So there's a lot of confusion that might exist because I'm introducing a culture, and there's a lot of distinction that I want everyone to feel part of. Like I want every culture and every human to experience this story and not at all feel left out at any given moment. So that's why I workshopped it with Fringe Festival, and the Fringe Festival was so exciting. And you're right, like I got to meet so many amazing creatives, and who are all working with theater, film, and TV, and they're all eager to create, which was exciting. And of course, as Monique, it was exhausting. I also got to see, I believe that you were in a play called in 2020, right?
You saw Lincoln 2020?
I didn't see it, but I searched it, and it was really interesting. And the element that I caught from Lincoln was that you worked with a big cast, like an 8-person cast, I believe.
Yes, I noticed that about yours as well. So for people listening, if you're not unaware of the Hollywood Fringe Festival, it is a play festival where you basically get up, your cast gets up, sets up the stage, you perform your thing, and then you get the heck out so that the next people can run in and perform theirs. And so having a big cast helps with props and things like that. But it's also a lot of people in like a little black box theater and all of us crammed backstage. And literally for every scene transition, I had notes for myself. Okay, I'm bringing this on. I'm bringing this off. I'm bringing this on. I'm bringing this off. And so it's a real collaborative, and you really have to be in cohesion with these people that you're working with in a short time span.
Yeah, and also working with schedules like that small factor was insanely challenging because like I was working with a lot of working actors, so finding the time to collaborate with everyone was a challenge, but like everyone was eager to be involved, and that attitude and that energy changes everything.
So how did you let's start with casting then. How did you find your people? How did you go through the casting process and choose the actors that you did?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the cool thing about working with through Fringe Festival was that I had an opportunity to like learn everything. So I essentially became the casting director, and I found the majority of actors through Actors Access and Backstage. And that had two really challenging casting the two parents of the play, because the play it's about a family, and a dysfunctional family, to condense the log line. And the two parents were the hardest to find. I didn't find them until 2 weeks before preview. And
Oh, wow.
A lot of the actors were declining. Yeah, a lot of us actors were declining because when I would find them, they would realize how short of a time they were working with, and they were like, oh, no, we can't do that. But these two actors, they were all in, and they were so excited to join the team. They're like, oh, they read the script and like, oh my gosh, this is a great script. And so I found Noah F. Madril, the guy who plays Guzman, the dad. And then he knew Eleni Rico Maria Magdalena. So she was brought in for the mom. Yeah, so a little bit of Actors Access and a lot of fate is what helped me find the actors.
And so going into the actual production of it is something, getting, 8+ actors together. Did you do what we did kind of was we did rehearsals that were, we scheduled these 5 people or these 3 people, and then that we only really ran it together as a whole cast a couple times before we did it. Is that kind of a similar thing that you did? Yeah.
Yes. Again, working with schedules was intense, but I think that our first full company run was our preview day, actually. So technically that was our tech. Our tech was our preview.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That
Yeah,
happened.
It is a lot of faith. It's a lot of faith to put in your actors, and that's why picking your, the people are so important that you want to work with, and that, who are going to tell your story. So tell us about the run of the show. So this ran in June of 2024.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what experience? How did your run go?
It was really great, and it was nice to feel the development and feel the cohesion and feel the play. It was like a self-realization process for the play. Like in every run, like the whole cast would come out excitedly, like, "Oh my God, that was the best run!" And for me, it was happening because just our energy. We were playing more and more each time, which I think is the most important part of a play, is to actually play and to let go of all of our knowledge of everything and just to just experience. And that was essentially happening more and more in each performance day. And the last one was everyone's personal favorite. And that is exactly because we were finally just playing, and we weren't having to, like you said, like having to be like, okay, I need to take in this and this and this, and I need to squeeze through this hallway and make room, and like things were more set for us to play, and even that one of our crew members had COVID, so she couldn't attend. And we were just like, okay, what do we got to do to support each other and not let this affect us? And everyone we all took her responsibilities like effortlessly, and easefully. And again, it was all attitude. And we had fun. We had fun the last night, and we had a great audience. There was a lot of, we had a lot of known reviewers the last night, and a lot of people in TV and film who came to, because they're aware that I'm developing the play into a feature film. So there was producers that came in to watch, which is, again, like you said, it's such a great opportunity that Fringe allows for people who are producing, like first-time producers and such. And then even within the cast, there's a producer who's interesting in developing the play further. So it's like, I feel like I heard you mention in a video about finding your people. Mm-hmm. And that is truly what was happening during this process. Like, things were just like doors were opening and people were presenting themselves. And I'm like, oh my God, you're here. Finally. I've been looking for you. Yeah.
How has the process been like for extending it into a feature? Like, what have you been doing? What struggles have you been coming up against?
What feedback did you get from the run that's like helped you, develop it into the feature that you want it to be?
Yeah. Okay. So what's really important is the confusion that the reviewers have left. And that has helped me because, again, like I'm introducing a culture, and like, for example, there's like clairvoyancy. When we speak of clairvoyancy, it's called like Santeria in the Mexican Latinx culture. And clairvoyancy is normal for us. And we have a lot of like clairvoyant common experiences that we can all relate to. And so presenting that can be confusing. So now I'm working through the writing process and how I can keep somebody grounded in the play, whereas not get lost in the confusion of like not understanding what's going on, basically.
Yeah. Is it the buy-in? Is it the buy-in of clairvoyance or paranormal, or like is it the buy-in of that from the audience?
Yeah. It's both. And I think that the way to tie it in is to know that everyone is capable of clairvoyancy. Like, we talk about what's big right now, I think in LA, is manifestation and like energy healing. And, you sit around groups that do sound baths. Like, that's our norm. And so it's like, how do I incorporate clairvoyancy, such a powerful, energetic, part of ourselves that's innate and universal, and have everyone celebrate that through different ways that aren't familiar, and that might be scary too, because I think that there's like the term bruja, which a lot of us know about. It's got a connotation to it that sounds scary. So the last thing I wanted a person to feel is scared watching the material, and we didn't have that happen. No one felt scared. No one felt like they were getting spells were getting put on them, which was
this is I mean, I literally love this stuff. I love all this stuff. I listened to another podcast that's all about this. Side note, but it's I face something. I mean, you're bringing a piece of art to an audience, they, especially if it has, centered around religion or politics or spirituality, there's going to be some people who resist just because it seems to be against maybe what they grew up with, or it seems to be against, their sense of identity. But at the end of the day, like you said, you're bringing a culture and you're bringing an experience to light for the masses to see.
I also feel like I'm sure in plays too, but in film, there's like a sense of ability to kind of suspend disbelief, even if they don't think that that's like a culture, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like there's like an ability to be like, okay, we'll ride with this. You know what I mean? Like in film. So maybe it's more of like a better, like,
Because in the
format,
yes,
media for
yes, it might. I feel the feature might be a totally different experience because especially at the Hollywood Fringe, like these theaters are small, like black box theaters, like 99 seats or less. So you are like thrust in this experience with the actors.
Yeah.
Whereas for TV and film, even if this doesn't gel with someone's sense of what they think the world is, it is that suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
kind
you
of,
would create this world basically, and
they
like
could
show it to them,
right? And they could fully be like, "I'm in here with you," or "I'm just observing it at a distance." Whereas with theater, you're not observing at a distance; you are like in the room with them. You know?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm hearing you guys talking. I think the big question that popped up in my head to present to us is like, how do we allow the audience to feel included in inside jokes that they may not understand? I think that's what my challenge, or like the challenge presented to me is, and that also goes into what you're saying, like it's such an intimate setting where everyone's involved. Like how do we keep everybody together and not have them leave the story because of quote unquote an inside joke that they might like spend the whole 30 minutes trying to understand, you know? Like it's and I don't know if you've ever dealt, because I know you guys are screenwriters, right? Too,
Jessica
as well.
is. Yeah, Jessica is.
Jessica is. Like, I don't know if you've ever dealt with this challenge of like how to insert inside jokes and make them inclusive, in a different way, maybe. I don't know, but it is interesting.
I think, like you said before, it's like setting up the world. And even if someone doesn't understand it, you're just drawing this audience in. Even if they might not understand it from a practical sense, or they haven't lived that life, or they haven't lived those experiences, they're still able to follow along with you.
I mean, I also think that the classic thing that you could do, which I don't know if you're asking advice on, but like if you have like someone who is an outsider from like be in the play. Do you know what I mean? Like the classic like Nick Carraway, Great Gatsby sort of thing, like the person who is observing and like can connection to the audience of like, I'm dumb, and then the audience is dumb as well because they don't understand what's actually going on, but all the other people have like a hand up or a leg up from everyone else, you know? Yeah. It could be a way to like
there's always that.
Yeah,
you're
so right.
Plays that kind of is like, hey, I'm taking you it's sometimes I think it's even like the fool character, because it's like I don't know I'm taking you along for the ride. Are you getting what I'm getting? And that, I mean, it doesn't have to be that kitschy, but it's it's that you're right. It's that one character that can represent the people that need to be brought into the world. Totally.
The outsiders. There you go. Keyword. Yes, I will say that now to introduce more of the premise, like there are two daughters that are going out on a date and they're getting ready for the date, and they're very late, and they were supposed to avoid their parents, but their parents end up coming home, and so they bring in the boys that are waiting outside, and so again the family's dysfunctional and they're clairvoyant, as we've been discussing. And things are starting to go awry, but it's normal for them. But I guess but certainly the two outsiders are the boys, because throughout the whole thing, they're like, what the fuck? So thank you for pointing that out, because I feel like they're able to like hold the audience's hand and be like, yeah, we're confused too.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah, this is not
Absolutely.
normal. This isn't normal. Like, we're a part of the culture too, because they're Latinx boys. We're a part of the culture, and this is crazy for us. So perhaps through them, everyone's like, okay, so we can sit back and watch this and feel okay
and
about
comment
being
on the fact that it's eccentric.
Okay, so it's normal to find this really bizarre. Okay, so glad we settled that.
What are your so you have feedback from the play. I'm sure you got feedback from the actors and your people that you invited. What are your next steps in developing this? Are you still in the process of writing the feature-length screenplay, or is it written and you're going into pre-production? Where where are you at in the process, and how's that going?
Where am I at? Okay, so luckily for me, fate. Shout out to fate, because there is this Nalip Media Summit that happened just before closing of Casa Fuego, and I went there and I met creatives that are of the Latinx culture, and I found people who were interested in being involved or like curious. I mean, the curiosity itself is crazy enough to receive. So right now there's a guy, a creative, DX Machina, who it was very easy for us to talk. So, and then he directed our last rehearsal, and I was like, oh my gosh, you're the director for the story if you want it. So there's a director that I'm handing over the hat to. There are producers. Again, one of the actors is a producer, and he's had experience with filmmaking, and he's interested in producing it. He's pitching it to along with his project currently, during for interviews that he's going to. And he's also like the vice president of another organization called, I think, Nosotros. I'm so sorry, Noah, F. Maduro, I've forgotten. But he is interested. And then I also met this other cool guy. Do you guys know Taika Waititi?
Yeah.
Okay, so he is my hero, my favorite creative, I think ever. And he created, do you know What We Do in the Shadows, the movie?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yes. I love that show so much. I've seen I've seen that there's a British version and then there's an American version. I've seen both hilarious. It's on Hulu. Are we talking about the same thing? What We Do in the Shadows, the vampire show?
I did not know. Yeah, but I did not know there was a British version. I have to watch that. I'm going to watch that today.
It's kind of like The Office, how The Office was a British show and then they made an American version. But it's those actors are so funny.
Yes, and the concept, right, is hilarious. And I recommend you watch the movie. And but essentially why I bring that up is because Casa Fuego is meant to exist in that kind of that creative, expressive realm that What We Do in the Shadows does, because they're clairvoyant. Like the What We Do in the Shadows is about vampires and witches, and so they have that clairvoyant realm that they exist in, and that's humorous. That's hilarious. Because Casa Fuego is a satire.
I'm laughing my butt off every time. Yeah.
And so it's a very hard thing to do artistically, to create that, and it was a challenge creating that as a play. But anyways, I met this guy who likes Taika Waititi, and I named him the Latinx Taika Waititi, and he's interested in the play, like reading the play or the screenplay. And so right now, as a writer, I'm developing it with now the film in mind, not so much as the stage. And so I'm gonna elongate it and add some more meat onto the bones, and then I'm gonna send it to the Latinx Taika Waititi I met, because I have a feeling that he is the one that's meant to put his magic in the project.
That's so cool. Yeah. I think it's so cool that you're on and talking to us about this, because we've said it before on the podcast that there are so many different ways to break into this industry and to not only start your career, but get your ideas out there. And we haven't had someone on yet talk about going into it through the theater realm, and the fact that, this is meant to be a feature film, and you're like, okay, because we just did a table read for a feature film, and then your route is like, let's do a full-fledged theater production to get feedback, which is so cool, which is, again, just showing that there are different ways to get the feedback that you want. The Hollywood Fringe Festival, shout out to them, is so good about creating, there's networking events like multiple times a week that they hold that are free to the people who are who've been accepted into the festival. And so it's finding the resources that work for you and really capitalizing on those relationships that you make and relationships that you build, and then bridging into finding your people, how has it been? Because you are bringing this culture to light, but the Latinx community is so much of your production is, coming from that heart and that vein, right? So how has it felt to, make sure that your production has, representation in it, and, based on the actors that you choose, or the, or the crew members that you choose? How has that been?
So meeting the quote unquote my people, it truly like opening up your eyes enough. I feel like in your heart enough, like you're able to see that every project, like in every person you meet, really is really influential to just your journey, my journey itself. Because I can say easily that every person that I've worked with Casa Fuego, they taught me so much, and their existence also informed me in ways that helped the story evolve. And I just, when they came in, like each person, like Gabriela Colazo, who plays my sister, she came in also 2 weeks before preview, and she just like her first day she came in, I was like, okay, you know what, we're gonna read the script, you're gonna see rehearsal, tell me if you're interested. She walks in, I hand her the script, and she's like, okay, give me a few give me a bit of context about this character. And I gave her a bit, and she went on stage and she presented herself. She's like, I'm Gabriela, I'm Vergara. And like that for me just like was such a lesson about like going into something and giving it your all, like first day, rather than being a tentative artist and sort of sitting back and watching before you step into it, as what I sometimes do. With that example in mind, like all these people really fed into Casa Fuego. Like Casa Fuego is the cast and crew now that were involved, and for the people who who are interested in continuing on, like they have within them things that Casa Fuego needs. And I hope this answers your question. Because like I'm really aware that I see Casa Fuego as something, and like Noah F. Woodrill sees it as something else, and I need what he sees, basically.
I think it's really strong to,
yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine that it's easy coming in as the director and creator and writer and being like, you must have found a connection and really felt trust in this human being to be like, you know what, I think I'm going to pass off the directing hat to you.
Well, I think it's also really smart to know certain like limitations in terms of like where you want to concentrate your like talents. Obviously you're writing this and producing it and having a way to like pass this on to other people in terms of like them directing or other people acting. Because obviously no matter what, like you can't act all the roles yourself. You can't,
at the same time.
At the same time. Yeah. Like no matter what, you have to find people to be able to bring in to help you then achieve it to get it where it needs to be. So I think it's just really important. And
because you're the lead actor in it, right? You are one of the you said you're two sisters, correct? Yeah, so that's
correct.
And so
it's important just to know that like you can't do it everything on your own, and if someone can like then help you elevate it to something beyond like what you are capable of doing at that point in time, in terms of not saying that you're not capable of doing it, but I mean like capable in terms of like doing all of it at once, like you only have so much of a so much ability to like be everywhere at once,
at the same time. There's no way I could do it. No. I can't imagine acting in something and directing it at the same time. People do it successfully. But it's the fact that you were, through this process, were able to, like you said, bring this to life that was in your heart, that was in your head, and and find the people for it is really, is really great.
I agree. Like I wore all the hats, but one of the main reasons was because I didn't know my people at the time.
Yeah.
And like I wanted this to happen, so I was like, okay, if I'm gonna have to wear all these hats, I'm gonna do it. And yeah, it was insane.
And you made it happen, though. You did it?
I was like making it happen while spiraling. I was like,
Right. The stress
I'm
is
spiraling.
the stress is so crazy.
I'm writing an email. Hi, good evening. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm spiraling again. But yeah, I did. It happens. It happened. And again, to reiterate what you said, like, yes, finding my people is crucial and important. And I'm so excited to pass on these hats. So excited. And knowing that these hats are going to be worn on really great heads, brains, and that they see Casa Fuego in a different way, like that, and that Casa Fuego needs, Casa Fuego needs them.
Nice.
And again, like, yes, highlight the word elevation, because that's exactly how it feels.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it feels.
So we know you have this, the Casa Fuego that you're, getting all set up. But do you have other projects? Are you doing other things right now? For, you with other people's projects or whatever, or are all your energy still really just concentrating on Casa Fuego?
Yeah, so I went to hibernation this weekend and I'm popping out of it. I'm doing I think yesterday I started popping out of it. And I'm doing this fun VO for a friend's project. I don't remember the name. I apologize. But his name is Jonathan Contreras, and he has a really fun stop motion series on YouTube. I think his name is Magic Man. And then I wrote a pilot, and I'm going to send that out to have someone read it, hopefully today.
No big deal. I just wrote a pilot.
Yeah.
That's huge. Nonchalant you are.
Thank you.
I was in hibernation.
I just wrote a pilot. It's no big deal.
Oh, girl, I did not write it in hibernation. No, I died. I died several times in hibernation, and I rebirthed myself. And thank you. Yeah, but that's from what my memory can give me. That's what I have right now. Yeah,
amazing.
And then with the whole Casa Fuego stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so with Casa Fuego, I mean, you giving the giving the reference of what we do in the shadows is perfect and very specific. Is your writing, are your other pieces of writing kind of in a similar vein, or are you drawn to different themes as well, or different styles?
Oh, interesting. Is it similar? I'd say the spitball comedy, that what we do in the shadows, is very similar to Casa Fuego, and the quirkiness, the quirky, bizarre, for lack of a better word, nerdy. I mean nerdy with so much love. I'm a nerd. The nerdiness, that's definitely present in Casa Fuego, and the bizarrety is definitely present in Casa Fuego. The writing, it's too. I can also say that the writing has it too. And it's also, though, to add in my own identity, is profound too. The writing gets profound.
But is your pilot also like that, or it's a totally different vein?
Oh, and that's a different vein. It's the pilot's called Aurake, and it's about a black sheep who lives in East LA, and she's just getting misunderstood by everybody, and she means well, and it's hilarious because just she's so opposite of her environment. So what I can say about that, it's more like Wednesday from Netflix.
Oh, love it. Okay,
where you
great.
have this,
you're someone that creates things that I really love. So yeah, we're gonna stay connected.
Cool. I would love that. Yeah. So that's that.
Awesome. So is there anything else that you'd like to plug? Anything else that you'd like to plug or let people know about?
Okay. If people are curious and called to the material that I'm sort of trying to explain
Yes.
in a clear way, they can connect with me on Instagram. It's _______________________ Krystal. That is 11 underscores.
We will have
in
that in the
case you
show
missed
notes.
it.
Yes, we'll have it linked in the show notes. You don't have to worry about counting it. People can just click. Yeah, we'll definitely have it there.
Cool. And then also just to say, like, it is a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. This was my first podcast collaboration, so thank you. And then to also be collaborating with the femme fatales, as you girls are.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I don't know your pronouns. I fucked up.
Oh.
No, we're all
what are your
cheers.
pronouns?
Yeah, we're cheers. Yeah. You're good.
Okay, cool. To collaborate with you and be in the room with you, and that you're storytellers and you're creatives and you're also producing your own work. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, thanks for bringing us on. Shout out to Monique Shi for connecting us. Love Monique Shi.
We love Momo. Thank you, Momo.
We love a Monique. Yeah. This is what it's all about, like telling people about our experiences, bringing people into different ways of breaking into this industry that might speak to them or work for them more. And so just thank you for being open to sharing with us your experience and your process and how it worked for you and how it really propelled you and gave you a jumping off platform for this project.
Yeah, and I think that it just gives other people ideas, like who are listening, as to how they can create content, make it have it be seen in one way or another, and potentially propel it forward into something else or
and
more,
how it can evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, like, I hope that this has inspired the leap of faith that it takes to do this.
For sure.
To
100%.
And yes, there's so many challenges, but like it all works out. It all works out.
Just gotta keep working at it.
Yeah. And with that, I think that's all I got.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on. It was a pleasure meeting you and talking with you.
And go get set.
It was a pleasure.
Thanks so much for listening to our podcast. Your listens, likes, and 5-star reviews really help push us along. If you want to get involved more and see what we're up to, don't forget to check us out on patreon.com/oldgirlsentertainment.